Welcome to Pauley Pavilion, home of the 1995 national champion UCLA Bruins, the 12th banner to hang above the floor at Pauley. In front of a packed house today, it's the 15th ranked Bruins against the Louisville Cardinals. And hello everyone, I'm Bill McAtee along with Derek Dickey. The two top shooting teams in the country today. UCLA, Derek, after a slow start, has come back to win 11 of their last 12. They seem to be improving almost every week. Well, they're doing it with defense, Bill. They're holding opponents to about 40% from the field. A very good rebounding team, but they like to run the ball up and down the court. Meanwhile, Louisville comes in with a very hot shooting guard. They're going to rely a lot today on DeJuan Wheat. Well, without four starters, DeJuan Wheat has been their go-to guy. He is an excellent player when it comes to putting it on the floor, taking the ball all the way to the basket. Excellent athlete. Get the ball up in the air. He can go up and find it. Charles O'Bannon for UCLA. Jim Herrick has asked him to step up and be the leader of this team. We want you to make things happen. Against USC, career high 27 points. Strength of this UCLA team, their versatility, and nobody does it better than Charles O'Bannon. Now let's take a look at our starting lineups for Louisville. In the front court, it'll be Dantzler, Bozak Smith, who starts for Samaki Walker, Alvin Sims. In the backcourt, it'll be Wheat and Tick Rogers. Denny Crum in his 25th year at the helm in Louisville. For UCLA, the front line, Charles O'Bannon, J.R. Henderson, Jelani McCoy, the outstanding freshman, and then the backcourt, Toby Bailey and Chris Johnson. Jim Herrick in his 8th year in Westwood, 7 consecutive 20-plus win seasons. The second leading coach in UCLA history. Second behind? That is not a double jeopardy question. John Wooden. Legendary John Wooden. Legend. Had a chance to visit with him before the game. He is still full of energy. DeJuan Wheat averaging 19.1 a game. Louisville's leading scorer. And we're set to go. It's a really big game for the Cardinals to try to come out here in Westwood and win this game. They've won their last 3 games without 4 starters, so it's going to be important for them to rebound defensively, not allow the Bruins to get second and third shots. Johnson fights for it, and a turnover. That's been a problem for UCLA. Off to Dantzler, and he slams it home. Excellent job by Louisville to be able to come up with that ball and get it out front. You mentioned the turnover problem for the Bruins. They average about 18 turnovers a game. They're last in the Pac-10 at turnover margin at minus 3.8. Almost another one. Bailey inside. He's fouled. Talked about UCLA's versatility. They have all 5 starters in double figures. And they all shoot over 50% from the floor, and they all average 4+ rebounds a game, so they are very versatile. And that Jim Herrick only goes about 7, maybe 8 players deep in his lineup, but the players that are out there give him big numbers. Foul was on Tick Rogers. Bailey, a 60% free throw shooter. Louisville has never won here at Pauley. 0-6 in Westwood, despite coming in over the years, Derek, with some pretty good teams. Louisville's had some very good teams come out here, and these teams have met in the NCAA tournament several times, but UCLA has been awfully strong, coming away with victories. Wheat, guarded by Bailey. Sims will take the shot. Rebound Henderson. Off quickly in the transition. O'Bannon off the glass. Charles O'Bannon has stepped up and he's done some terrific things for Jim Herrick in that he's running the floor. He's actually on the sideline pumping this team up. This team only has 1 senior, and that's Kevin Dempsey. Bozak Smith. Off to Rogers, and Wheat will set it. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, down to about 12 seconds. Sims. travel.
Well, UCLA is a team that likes the transition game. They want to get it out front as quickly as they can, and Charles O'Bannon makes a good decision there. Normally he would take that all the way to the basket, but he felt the defense in front of him, pulled up for the nice little soft floater.
McCoy now. O'Bannon. Bounce pass inside to Johnson. Johnson loves the baseline.
Chris Johnson is a very talented individual around the basket. Only 6'5", lost 40 pounds this past summer.
The three doesn't go for Rogers. Wheat, that's a two.
Well, you give the Cardinals 2 and 3 looks at the basket, they can really hurt you. And DeJuan Wheat shoots about 47% behind the three-point arc and 51% from the field overall.
Remember, these teams rank 1 and 2 in shooting percentage in the nation. Johnson is fouled by Sims. Good look there at Chris Johnson. His stats this year versus last year. He's come off a summer program where he lost 45 pounds. And still plays, though, much quicker, but with the big body mentality there.
Yes, he does. Inside, he's very, very strong, but he's learned to utilize his quickness. He's able to put the ball on the floor. There's his dad, Marcus Johnson. No, he's not on the same diet as his son, Chris, but this past summer, Chris worked with his mom, Sabrina, down in Atlanta, and Jim Herrick shared with us earlier today that they worked for 26 days, and he lost 26 pounds in those 26 days.
Henderson.
Very strong, very, very strong. Jim Herrick said he's a poised player. He has played every position on the floor that Herrick has asked him to play this year, all 5 spots.
And that is what Sims likes. He likes to take that baseline. And he's fouled, so he'll go to the line.
J.R. Henderson, 6'9", out of Bakersfield. Extremely gifted with long arms and likes to put the ball, keep it up above his shoulders and take it right to the rack. 7 rebounds a game, 16 points. Extremely talented around the offensive glass.
Number for Sims, averaging 13.4 a game, 4.6 rebounds. There's Denny Crum. 6'4", UCLA. Last touch by Louisville.
We're going to see Louisville probably utilize their press. They like to press 3-quarter, half-court, full court. They will keep changing their defenses, trying to get the tempo up just a little bit more, one more notch.
Henderson guarded by Dantzler.
Look at 6'9", J.R. Henderson out there initiating the offense. There's no such thing as a point or a power on this. O'Bannon! This is what Jim Herrick wants Charles O'Bannon to do. A little bit more extroverted than his brother Ed last year, but when he gets the ball around the basket, take it home. Moving very well, number 13, Charles O'Bannon comes into the center of the screen, and there's no real shot blocker inside for the Cardinals. He takes it right at Bojack Smith, who's only about 6'8" tall.
9-4 UCLA, and now they press. Rogers across the timeline. The wing to Dantzler.
Cardinals no trouble breaking the pressure.
And Wheat silences the crowd, nails the three. Almost half of Wheat's shots come from three-point range, where he's shooting 42%. 51% shooter overall, and Bojack Smith saves it. Bannon gets it inside to McCoy. UCLA will retain possession.
Well, you certainly don't want to leave DeJuan Wheat open. If you're a UCLA Bruin, you have to be able to rotate a little better than that, but the Bruins are able to keep the ball down here on their offensive end, trying to execute their offense. They've learned patience, a very talented young team that has to learn patience if they're going to advance in the NCAA tournament.
Well, that foul is going to be on Bailey as he's slapped Wheat away after a nice tip by Wheat.
Wheat averages over 5.5 steals a game.
Back to Pauly in a moment. The Bruins by 2.
The 6 winning ticket numbers for today's contest are now posted on the scoreboard. Those numbers.
Welcome back to Westwood, the campus of UCLA. Beautiful day. It's Louisville and the 15th ranked Bruins are now back inside the packed Pauly Pavilion. UCLA up by 2. 9-7.
Bruins have done a terrific job with their defense all season long. They've held 16 out of their 17 opponents under 50% from the field. For the season, they're right around 40%, their opponents, and they hold their opponents 31% from the three-point arc. So they rotate their defenses very, very well.
Wheat taking his time to set the offense now. Rogers. Danzler tries to get it inside to Smith. Off the break, and Henderson saves it, but Wheat is there. Alley-oop. Almost an exact duplicate play from what we saw on the other end of the floor. That was partially tipped. And Wheat will slow it back down.
The Cardinals have to rely on their transition game. In the half-court set, they're not a very tall team, not very physical, losing 4 starters. We'll talk about them in just a minute. Wheat makes a nice little fall away from the corner.
It's 7 points already for Wheat. It ties it at 9.
Louisville Cardinal team lost 4 players.
Rebound by Henderson, and he's fouled. We're at Pauly Pavilion for the 15th ranked UCLA Bruins and the Louisville Cardinals. 15:23 left to play in the first half. We're tied at 9. Alvin Sims takes it strong to the hoop. So Louisville up by 2. I'm Bill McAtee along with Derek Dickey.
Strong move by Alvin Sims inside.
There's O'Bannon. Nice hang move. And that's 7 already for O'Bannon. So he's matching Wheat.
O'Bannon's going to bring it right back. Every time you try to score on the Bruins, look for Charles O'Bannon to try to answer back.
And that's off the foot of Charles O'Bannon. Take a look at the shooting. These are, once again, the 2 top shooting teams in the nation. Cameron Dollar now checks in. Chris Johnson.
Watch over there.
So Bailey now will slide over to the 2 guard. Dollar runs the point.
Cameron Dollar was very instrumental in the Bruins' success for winning the national championship last year, with Tyus Edney going down with a hand injury.
Georgetown upset today by St. John's. UMass. Strong. Villanova 90-62. Wheat comes away with it. Takes it all the way, and the follow by Danzler.
This Louisville Cardinal team is still a team in transition. Denny Crum normally has a lot of guys, 6'5", 6'6", 6'8", but they run the court extremely well in transition. Put it up on the glass, they can go ram it home. Good hands by DeJuan Wheat to be able to come up with this steal, and he doesn't find a defender challenging him, so he takes the ball right to the basket, misses the shot, but Damon Danzler is going to come over the back without being blocked out, able to put the ball right back in the basket.
O'Bannon will inbounds the ball. Oma Gibbons now in the game as Henderson is fouled. It is the second foul on Bozak Smith. There's Oma Gibbons. 6'10" sophomore from Aberdeen High School in Aberdeen, Washington. And there's Jelani McCoy.
2 shots.
Jelani's a terrific shot blocker. He's averaging about 3.6 block shots a game. Number 6 in the country.
Leads the Pac-10. Henderson now with 3 points. 64% free throw shooter. You mentioned the Bruins have used him everywhere this year. All 5 positions. That's how versatile J.R. Henderson is.
Well, with only playing 7 players, Jim Herrick has to rely on guys to be extremely versatile, and putting a guy 6'9" out to handle the ball, that's a tremendous compliment to his skills.
They collapse on Sims, and the Bruins come away with it off the break. Bailey can't handle the ball. Knocked away again.
Toby Bailey able to maintain his composure and find inside, being able to get an easy layup.
Dantzler with the layup. He now has 6. Back quickly, Cameron Dollar.
Well, that's why we have the #1 and #2 field goal shooting teams in the nation, because they're getting good looks, almost point blank at the basket. Look what I found.
And that's 6 points for Henderson.
JR had his best game against Washington State. 29 points, 11 out of 13 from the field to go along with 9 rebounds.
Jim Herrick thinks JR may be the best player in terms of fundamentals on his entire roster. He's got some pretty good players.
Got some very good players. He said he reminds him of a computer, because when he teaches him different fundamentals, he doesn't forget anything, remembers everything.
Another turnover. Dantzler, who's having a pretty good game so far, inside. The foul is called on Henderson. That's his second.
J.R. Henderson may have to come out of the game, but DeJuan Wheat, when he gets the ball in his hand, we'll talk about this when we come back.
11:33 left in the first half. Bruins by 2. Danny Crum returning to the campus of UCLA, where he played in the backcourt under John Wooden in the late 50s. He transferred here from Pierce Junior College in the Valley. He was named the newcomer of the year his first year at UCLA. Meanwhile, here's what Denny Crum has had to deal with this year. He's lost 4 starters. Osborne and Sanders declared academically ineligible. Eric Johnson blew out the knee. Last Saturday, it was announced that Samaki Walker would be withheld pending results of an investigation over an automobile. So when you talk about UCLA, Derek not being very deep, well, Denny Crum is basically playing with his deep.
Oh, he's playing with everybody that he has available to him, and he also is missing another player, a freshman, Charlie Taylor, 5'9" player out of Park Ridge, or Pleasure Park Ridge, Kentucky, but he's also missing an assistant coach, Larry Gay, so he's had to use Band-Aids pretty much to keep this together.
Well, they'll wave this one off. Offensive goaltending called on Bozak Smith, the 6'8" junior. Johnson, he takes it.
Chris Johnson is able to find a seam. He doesn't need much territory. He's a very good outside shooter. He shoots about 40% from the three-point arc, but 54% from the floor on the year.
And that's 3 for Johnson. And while B.J. Flynn has now checked in for Louisville. Number 13, 6'2" junior walk-on. There are 4 walk-ons on this Louisville roster.
B.J. Flynn's the son of a former NBA, ABA player, Mike Flynn.
Mike also played for Kentucky. Inside, Gibbons. And Root gets the rebound. Sims, no call. Johnson comes away with it, pushes it to Dollar. Off to Johnson, he's fouled, and count it.
Give it to him. Cameron Dollar delivers and gives the ball back. Chris Johnson out on the fast break, going coast to coast, giving it up. You give the ball up early, you make the defense have to play you, and he continues to move without it. Look at the athletic ability of Chris Johnson to be able to put that ball off the glass with the left hand.
First foul on B.J. Flynn. Meanwhile, Brian Kiser, 6'7" senior, is also in the game. So Chris John, as they call him, converts the three-point play and now has 6.
Chris Johnson had a pleasure of playing this past summer after he came back from losing the weight with Michael Jordan, and as Michael was out here filming a movie along with several other Bruin players, but got to be pretty good friends with Michael and still keeps in touch with him.
They were at the airport, and Michael had left Chris a message on his answering machine, so he was calling everybody over to listen to it.
I wish Michael would call me.
No basket. First foul on Oma Gibbons.
Vinny Crum wants to try to get his players to penetrate a little bit more. Spacing on the floor is going to be very important. Move away from the free throw area. Execute your offense. Cut hard to the basket.
Kiser converts the three. He's a good perimeter shooter. 30 of his 46 field goals coming in today were three-pointers. O'Bannon.
Good hands and great energy around the ball. Charles O'Bannon knows how to find the ball wherever it is, especially when it's down on the floor. He's not afraid to get down and dirty.
That's 9 for O'Bannon. Meanwhile, Dollar and Kiser fight for the ball. You can guess who the foul is on.
I don't think there's any question about who the foul is on, but the fans certainly don't agree with it. There's a little bit of push actually going over the shoulder. Brian Kiser does over the shoulder of Cameron Dollar, and he, along with the faithful here in Pauley Pavilion, do not agree with that call.
Dollar comes away with it. This is what Jim Herrick loves about this kid. He is always around the ball, so quick.
Simply makes things happen when he comes in the game. He leads his Bruin team coming in with 71 assists on the season.
UCLA by 8. Flynn inside to Kiser. Great cut.
Nice pass. The Bruins are overplaying, and that was a good setup by Kiser to be able to go up high and then cut hard back door.
Quickly, that's 5 points for Kiser, who came in averaging 7.2 a game. Dollar. Oh, beautiful assist to Johnson.
Beautiful assist. Nice catch and finish by Chris Johnson inside. Cameron Dollar has some problems with his hand. Torn ligament in his right little finger, and he dislocated the left one, so he's really kind of hobbled out there. Look at the quick hands by Cameron Dollar to be able to come up with this ball. Knowing he's got support, he slows himself down to be able to finish it up. Now we're going to see him operate in traffic. A good job to take 2 defenders and pitch it off, and Chris Johnson right there to be able to put the ball in the basket.
O'Bannon. Was trying to get it to Johnson. O'Bannon comes away with it and uncontested.
Charles wanted to make sure on that play. He had 2 teammates standing in front of him, but he felt like he had control of the situation. Comes up with the steal and the finish.
That's 11 now for O'Bannon. As you mentioned, Derek, had a career-high 27 in the blowout win over crosstown rival USC on Wednesday night. He also tied a career best with 13 boards against the Trojans.
It's always a fun matchup to watch UCLA and USC play against each other, a crosstown rival.
Foul is on Chris Johnson. With 7:24 left to play in the first half, the Bruins lead by 10.
B-level, Ackerman Student Union. All prizes must be...
Pat O'Brien in New York, along with George Raveling. When you look at Pauley Pavilion, a lot of college basketball history there. UCLA would like to have another title, and they lead by 10 over Louisville, 30-20, 7:24 left in that game. There's another game going on right now down in Gainesville, Florida. And they're in a timeout right now, George Raveling, but LSU leads by 2.
Well, they led 38-37 at halftime. Randy Livingston's back for LSU, but he's struggling a little bit. 2 points and 6 turnovers in this game. LSU went on a 16-2 run at the end of the first half, and that's what secured the lead for them.
All right, we got caught in a timeout there, but it's a 2-point game. We'll keep you up to date on that. Let's go back to Bill and Derek out at Pauley. Bill?
All right, Pat, thank you very much. The Bruins shooting 70% from the field. Leading by 10, 30-27-14. Left to play here in the first half. Dollar will bring it up. Derek, you mentioned the injuries to the little fingers on each of Cameron Dollar's hands. It really has been a problem for him throughout the year. It's almost like, as UCLA throws it away, it's almost like trying to play with boxing gloves.
Yeah, it becomes very difficult because as a ball handler, it really affects the way you're able to change directions. And Cameron's had to go through some periods where he's missed some practice time because of that. He's got a pad over his right hand, and he does have some pain from time to time, but he's able to come out here and tough it out.
Kiser. Three doesn't go, and off the break quickly is Dollar. Bailey out to Givens. Oh, Johnson is right there.
Very aggressive play by the Bruins around the board. They rebound the ball very, very well. About 41 rebounds a game, holding their opponents to 32, so they get after the ball on both ends.
Flynn falls down, but it's last touch by Louisville.
Aggressive, scrappy. Put your nose in there and try to strip the ball away.
Chris Johnson had 36 points in the win over Cal earlier this month, the career high. And Marcus Johnson, Chris's dad, also had his career high against Cal, 37 points back in 1977. But take a look at how physical this one is.
Well, it's starting to get physical out on the floor. Normally you would expect that underneath the basket, but it's gotten so physical out on the floor that that play happens to go in favor of the Bruins, and they need to come down and capitalize to keep the momentum in their hands. But I think Louisville has to play better defense and not allow the Bruins to get second shots.
Bob Myers, a 6'6" junior, has checked in for Charles O'Bannon as the Bruins throw it away.
This Bruin team, coming off the success of winning the national championship last year, started the season a little high, and Jim Herrick said the best thing that happened to them was going to Maui, losing 2 games in the preseason tournament out there. They lost to Santa Clara, also to Vanderbilt. It kind of brought the guys back down to earth.
Had a 10-game winning streak, snapped last Saturday at Arizona, but still have won 11 of 12. Here's Kiser for 3. In traffic, Sims, and the rebound by Myers. Tomorrow it's more college basketball on CBS, beginning with the Big Ten matchup between number 16 Michigan and number 22 Iowa. Then there's regional coverage with Virginia against number 14 UConn or number 3 Kansas against Nebraska. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern. That's tomorrow on CBS Sports. UCLA Bruins leading, 32-20, 5:15 left to play here in the first half.
Cardinals have to continue their patience on the offensive end. Run their offense all the way through. Don't necessarily look for that first option. At that time, DeJuan Lee took a shot from the outside. The Cardinals had no offensive rebounding strength inside.
Oh, McGivens takes a seat. Dollar will bring it up. Bob Myers in the game. Chris Johnson. Jelani McCoy has checked back in. Toby Bailey is the 5th. That's for 2. Tip doesn't go. Kiser comes away with it.
The Bruins have not attempted a 3-point shot in this game. The Cardinals are 2 for 10.
Bozak Smith won't score a lot of points. There's Sims. Dishes off to Kiser. Doesn't shoot the 3.
With patience. Continue to move the ball around the perimeter. Get it inside. Pitch it back out if they want to take that 3-point shot.
And wisely, Wheat will reset the offense. Shot clock down to 3. He got it away. And 1.
Boy, Alvin Sims is such an explosive leaper when he gets close to the basket. He's 6'4", 220 out of Paris, Kentucky. Toby Bailey gets him on the arm as the shot clock is just about to expire, and Alvin Sims is able to maintain his composure and put that ball in the hoop.
Toby Bailey, his second personal.
Kiser checks out. Dantzler comes in. Sims had a key basket late in the game in the win over St. Louis on Wednesday night. They've really counted on Sims and DeJuan Wheat. Wheat inside. So back out to Rogers. Good ball movement right now from the Cardinals.
Much better, a lot crisper with their cuts and their passing. Jump it up.
Jump ball.
Excellent defense by the Bruins inside to be able to maintain their position.
3:54 left in the first half. The Bruins lead Louisville by 10. Welcome back to Westwood. There's the story. The 15th ranked UCLA Bruins by 10 over the Louisville Cardinals. And a look at our game summary. What stands out immediately is the field goal percentage, Derek.
Well, the field goal percentage, UCLA leads the nation in field goal percentages, but they're shooting a high percentage because they're getting points in the paint, and they're just dominating the Cardinals inside, even on the offensive glass. And the two players we featured at the beginning, O'Bannon and Wheat, they're both doing a good job. I think DeJuan Wheat needs better support from his teammates to try to get someone else to be able to step up and score some points.
Wheat keeps possession. These Cardinals have played with a lot of heart. All the adversity they faced this year.
When you lose that many players, 4 starters, it's very difficult to try to recover from that.
Myers comes away with it. Off to Johnson. He takes it in traffic. 34-22, and that's 12 for Johnson.
Chris is really starting to step into a role that Jim Herrick wants him to start to display more leadership out there when it comes to looking for his chances. If you got it, keep it going.
Cameron Dollar comes away with it, and UCLA quickly in transition. McCoy. Another turnover. Here comes Rogers. Oh, and Dollar steals it right back. O'Bannon.
Cameron Dollar has to be one of the best in the country at finding the passing lane. 2 steals a game just by playing the seam, actually playing like a defensive back, finding it, and getting rid of the ball up front for an assist.
That's 13 for Charles O'Bannon, and now it's a 14-point Bruin lead. 5 seconds. Near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a genuine Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $5.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
The fans really appreciate the effort by number 24, Bob Meyer, a walk-on who earned a scholarship last year, who just left the game. Gave a nice effort for Jim Herrick.
20-second timeout and some high fives from the assistant coaches over on the UCLA bench.
We'll talk about the sophomore Chris Johnson. He has continued to step up his game and get better and better and more confident. That's just a nice athletic move because all the players on this Bruin team can handle the ball, but to be able to handle it in traffic and finish the play is something that Chris is starting to get a lot of confidence in.
Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Pat O'Brien and George Raveling will have all the scores and highlights, plus a live look at the LSU-Florida game. That's all coming up on Pennzoil at the half. Bruins by 14, 2:30 left to play in the first half. Another turnover.
If this Bruin team is going to make a run toward the end of the season in the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to take better care of the ball. There's no secret to that. Brian Kiser cashes in from the corner.
That's a 3, 8 points for Kiser. Meanwhile, there's shooting percentages, or shooting figures. This is off the break now. Wheat with the jam. The 6-foot junior skying. That's 9 now for Wheat.
20-second timeout, UCLA.
20-second timeout for UCLA. They lead 36-27.
Hey, the Cardinals are playing good defense. This is Damian Dantzler coming up with a steal and getting the ball out front. And DeJuan Wheat certainly knows how to finish the play, getting out in front of the traffic. But it's all set up by playing good defense. They can't run if they're taking the ball out of the basket, but they have a better chance to score if they do it in transition off of a turnover.
The Cardinals have won 3 straight, and during that streak, Wheat has shot 82% and averaged 25 points. So he's been a big part of Louisville's success in Conference USA, where they're 5-1. Take a look at Dewan Wheat.
Continued to get better, and he, not only in scoring, but his percentages have gone up in terms of his field goal percentage. Still just a junior.
Bailey brings it up, guarded by Sims. Bailey will take the three and nails it. That's 4 for Bailey.
He's the best perimeter shooters the Bruins have outside the three-point arc. 46% behind that arc.
Bailey had a huge three with 15 seconds left against Washington State earlier in the year to send that game to overtime, and UCLA came back and won it. Second foul on Chris Johnson. 1:21 left to play.
Bailey's been asked to play the point position when he's out on the floor most of the time, but Jim Herrick has several players, but when Cameron Dollar's on the floor, it's his job to run the show.
To the line, shooting.
UCLA coming off one of their best performances of the year against USC on Wednesday. In the first half, they missed only 4 shots, a school record, 84.6%. And they also set a school record for the game, shooting just over 73%.
Wow. That's pretty impressive, and they're shooting 70% in the first half in this game. So they're getting it done by getting the ball inside and pretty much moving around and getting uncontested look at the basket.
Louisville cuts the lead to 10 now. 39-29. Dollar brings it up. Guarded by Wheat. That'd be a pretty fun one-on-one matchup to watch.
Boy, it'd be fun. The quickness that both those athletes have out there.
O'Bannon in traffic. Wheat tried to save it, but Sims couldn't get there.
If Charles O'Bannon takes that ball straight up instead of fading away, he has a chance not only to make the basket, but to either dunk it or put it inside the rim where his teammates can give him some support and keep it alive.
Kevin Dempsey has now checked in. Another turnover by the Bruins, and off the break, here's Wheat. Lays it up and in.
Quick hands. Very, very quick hands. Denny Crum always has good athletes. This is not one of his better rebounding team, but they are able to come up with the steals and the deflections.
11 points for Wheat. 39-31. Bailey. Wheat gets up in the air, comes down with the board to Dantzler as the Bruins have a short-lived press.
And list Wheat at 6 foot tall. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but he was out there, the smallest player on the floor. Comes up with that rebound. The Cardinals holding for the last shot.
Shot clock is off.
Down to 5.
Wheat takes it.
Yes!
Basket is good by Dewan Wheat. In the first half,
13 points now for Dewan Wheat.
Dewan Wheat has the shot clock in his face, so he knows it's running down, but this is just excellent concentration, and he finds the friendly confines of the rim here at UCLA.
That's the end of the first half with the score UCLA 39, Louisville 33. Pat O'Brien will be along with Pennzoil at the half after this message and a word from your local station. It's halftime at Poly Pavilion, where the 15th ranked UCLA Bruins lead the Louisville Cardinals 39-33. I'm Bill McAtee along with Derek Dickey. And Derek, your thoughts on the first half? Pretty competitive considering that Louisville is so outsized.
Well, Louisville made a mini run toward the end of the half, but UCLA dominated the game for the most part the first half, dominating inside in the paint, getting up, picking up loose balls, getting the ball out in fast break opportunities. But the Cardinals have to get a more balanced scoring attack to get back in this game. Only 4 players scored the first half.
You know, we talked to Jim Herrick before the game, and his eyes absolutely lit up when he talked about Cameron Dollar.
Cameron did a terrific job job when he came in. He always seems to make things happen on the defensive end. Plays the best defense off the ball Jim Herrick said that he's seen in his coaching years. Comes up with a steal and pitches the ball out front. He had 4 steals in that first half, but an excellent player around the ball, able to finish. Got only 2 points in that first half. DeJuan Wheat, just a terrific player for Denny Crum. Likes to get out in the break, but he shot very well from the field. 6 out of 11 from the field, but he needs some more support from his teammates.
Let's take a look now at our halftime numbers. UCLA shooting 64%, but points in the paint overwhelmingly to the Bruins.
And the Bruins also dominated the board 17-10. They got second and third shots almost at will, but slowly as the half ended, the Cardinals started doing a better job of controlling their own board and then getting down the score.
Denny Crum celebrating his 25th anniversary in Louisville. This was supposed to be a great year for the Cardinals because of that outstanding front line, but as we know, Denny Crum now missing 4 starters, and there's John Wooden. The only person in the Basketball Hall of Fame is a player and a coach, and he casts a big shadow here in Westwood.
I had the pleasure of speaking with him. I mentioned this earlier before the game began. He's signing autographs. He talks to everybody, anybody that wants to come by and say, "Hi, Coach, how you doing?" And he's extremely sharp, still understands everything about the game, and he said he's still a big fan, and a big fan of Jim Herrick's.
Bruins will inbounds the ball to start the second half, and there's Wheat taking a swipe at it. Bailey will bring it up. It's tipped away by Dantzler. Bailey keeps it alive, still loose.
Got a foul that time, it seemed like, on DeJuan Wheat, who came from the Wheat side. The Bruins could not find a handle on that ball.
That's his first. Bruins certainly don't want to let this one get away from them. And just like that did, Tick Rogers with the steal, retains control. Dantzler.
Cardinals are coming out with a lot more energy, it seems, to start this second half, looking to try to get the ball on the defensive end, get a couple of steals and strips.
Bozak Smith. Travel. Call for the travel. Smith will not get a lot of points. Somebody practiced yesterday with a migraine, and Denny Crum had to start Brian Kiser in the center during the practice runs.
Yeah, it's very, very tough because of the players that are missed. Denny Crum's without 4 starters. Eric Johnson, a blown knee. Jason Osborne and Alex Sanders, academic problems. Samaki Walker, probably his best player, is out because of some internal investigation taking place right now. And he's also without one of his assistant coaches, Larry Gay.
So now it's a 4-point UCLA lead. Louisville has come out hustling. That doesn't go. Henderson is fouled. That's on Bozak Smith, his third. Look at Jim Herrick. Rewarded with a new contract, 5-year contract, several months ago.
Isn't it amazing, Bill? You live here in the Los Angeles area. All the pressure that Jim Herrick had on him prior to winning last year. Everybody, compared him to John Wooden. You're not John Wooden, but I think he's done a terrific job. He's an excellent coach, and of his years of coaching, now in his 17th year, he's averaged almost 24 wins a season over 24 years of coaching.
That's 17 points now for Henderson. Jim Herrick's guided the Bruins to 7 straight 20-plus win seasons and 7 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Sims will take it. Blocked and fouled by Jelani McCoy.
Alvin Sims not afraid to get inside and challenge. This young man lettered in high school in soccer, baseball, and football. Got a great handle when it comes to putting it on the floor. Takes it right to the front of the rack.
That's the first on McCoy. Sims will shoot 2. He was dedicated this season to his father and grandmother, both of whom passed away last year. And we've mentioned the players that have had to step up. And this is certainly one of the young men who has done the job for Denny Crum.
It's so tough to move into a role when you're really not expecting it as far as Denny Crum is concerned, but he's got to have players to continue to look big, to try to make things happen. Against St. Louis, Alvin Sims, 11 points, 5 out of 8 from the field, but he had 6 turnovers in that game.
And there's a turnover by the Bruins out quickly. This is Rogers. It's off Henderson. Last touch by UCLA.
Well, the Bruins become very lackadaisical. A young team, another turnover is forced by the Cardinals. This is an excellent effort to come in and be able to swat that ball away, but you cannot allow a team that's been road tested like the Cardinals to be able to get back in this game.
Wheat resets the offense.
Even though the Cardinals may be outmanned, the Bruins are back into a zone right now. They have the ability by pitching the ball around the perimeter, finding the open man.
And that time it's Tick Rogers with the 3. That's 5 points. And suddenly it's a 1-point game.
Here come the Cardinals on the road. You mentioned they've won their last 3 games. Another turnover. And that's unforced. These are unforced errors that the Bruins are committing out there. Maybe we'll see Cameron Dollar for the Bruins come back on the floor.
That's 16 now for UCLA. They came in averaging 18 a game. Rogers guarded by Johnson. Danzler from the corner. Poor shot. Here comes O'Bannon. Loose ball. Out quickly to Wheat. Henderson is there. Oh, what a pass and the slam by Danzler.
Great hustle on the defensive end. Tick Rogers able to come up with that loose ball and pitch it out ahead. DeJuan Wheat takes it down, and you have to respect his ability to score. Finds the trailer. Damian Dantzler.
10 points now for Damian Dantzler. And Louisville now has a 1-point advantage.
Well, Cardinals are getting on the floor. They're actually being more aggressive and coming up with the balls on both ends, loose balls that they weren't able to get early in this game. Maybe they were a little intimidated coming in the building, but they're starting to settle into a very good rhythm right now.
Jelani McCoy takes a seat. Cameron Dollar checks in. Here's Henderson guarded by Smith, and a strong move to the bucket.
Nice move by J.R. Henderson.
Wheat. That's Kiser, and he hits the 3. So suddenly Louisville starting to hit it up, and Kiser has 16.
That's a very good decision that time by DeJuan Wheat. He didn't feel comfortable with the shot, but spotting up in the corner, Brian Kiser was waiting. Unforced error once again by Toby Bailey. Henderson making a nice move around the baseline side. This young man is 6'9" and can go between his legs, behind his back, and create a shot all the way to the basket.
Louisville with the ball and a 2-point lead. Kiser inside. Sims, oh, strong move.
You don't want to challenge me? I'll take it home. He goes all the way up over the defense and jams it in.
Settle things down. There you see Louisville struggled in the first half, but 5 for 5 here in the second half. Dollar is fouled. DeJuan Wheat, that's his second.
Good things seem to happen for the Bruins when Cameron Dollar steps on the floor. Bad fingers and all. We mentioned in the first half he's got a problem on the left little finger. He tore ligaments there, dislocation of the right little finger, but he's still able to come out and compete. And when he does, he plays great defense and always looks to pass the ball ahead.
Dantzler checks in now for Bozak Smith. Dollar. Bounce pass inside to Jelani McCoy. Second foul on Tick Rogers.
Well, we don't want this to get into a free throw shooting contest, Bill. We're going to be here for a long time. The Bruins shoot 64% from the free throw line. The Cardinals 65% from the free throw line.
That's already 5 team fouls now on Louisville. Bannon will bring it in. Has to take a timeout. Good defense by Alvin Sims. 22nd timeout. 16:06 left to play in the game.
Let's take a look at some good passing. Excellent spacing and moving without the ball. Nice head fake by Alvin Sims to get Toby Bailey to bite on it, but he was able to go up quickly, a very quick jumper, to be able to dunk that ball home.
Sims with the powerful body is a great leaper. I understand we've had some technical problems that we have corrected now.
Bruins need a basket here. They either need a basket or get to the free throw line. Look to get the ball inside, but it has to come through execution. You don't want to stay on one side of the floor and just try to get it in. Move the ball around, find the open man.
JR. Cardinals come away with a great save by Wheat. Got it out to Rogers, and Wheat will bring it up the floor.
Yeah, Wheat seems to be around the ball, doesn't he?
That's that baseline move that Sims loves, and he is fouled. Ball goes against Chris Johnson.
This is Tick Rogers going to his left after a little bit of a head fake, getting Jelani McCoy to go for the ball, and he goes in and throws the ball up on the glass as he feels the concentration going to his left, a right-handed player. That's a very tough move, but he doesn't lose focus on the rim, able to get the ball to go down.
Rogers, a 6'5" senior from Park County High School in Munfordville, Kentucky. So perhaps a surprise brewing here in Westwood. 50-43, Louisville. Louisville has outscored UCLA 17-4 here in the second half. They lead 50-43. Let's take a look quickly at the Pac-10 standings. Cal and the Bruins on top, both with records of 6-1.
Well, the Pac-10 and the Big Ten are the only two major conferences that do not have a postseason tournament, so it's important for the Bruins to finish strong during the regular season. They've already beaten Cal here at UCLA by 20 points.
Well, they're on their feet here at Poly to try to motivate the Bruins. Seeing things slip away as you see the run. Henderson. It's last touched by Louisville, still playing great defense.
So far here in the second half, it looks to me like not only the turnovers, the unforced errors are costing the Bruins, but they're not getting the same spacing they had early in the game. Trying to make passes in quarters that are a little bit too close.
Last year, UCLA beat Louisville at Freedom Hall, 91-73. Toby Bailey had a great day. Bannon puts it up. Bailey with a double-double, 17 points and 11 rebounds. That's now 15 for O'Bannon.
It's part of the leadership role that Jim Herrick wants O'Bannon to accept. He wants him to make the plays, not necessarily score all the points, but make the big play when the momentum needs to change.
Kiser shoots the three.
Ryan Kiser is on fire.
Quickly quiets the crowd. Kiser, an excellent perimeter shooter, and worried look. Jim Herrick's face.
How quickly the tide has turned because of some unforced errors, turnovers by the Bruins starting off this second half.
Wheat comes away with it, and now an opportunity for Louisville to go up by 10.
Jim Herrick told us before the game that, you can turn the ball over, but you start turning it over against good teams, it's going to cost you.
Dantzler, guarded by McCoy. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Wow! Another three. That's 19 for DeJuan Wheat.
DeJuan was about 3 or 4 steps behind the three-point arc.
Timeout. UCLA as Louisville now leads by 11, 56-45. And they are stunned here at Poly.
Visa honors America's Olympians. Like Rodney McCrary of the University of Louisville and Jackie Joyner Kersey of UCLA. Today, collegiate athletes are in training for future Olympics. And Visa will donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team for their efforts in the development of our future U.S. Olympians.
Chuck Norris is taking you for the ride of your life. And speed is the name of the game. It's non-stop action. Hold on! An unstoppable Walker tonight.
The Louisville Cardinals have come out this second half and played great defense, forcing the Bruins into 6 turnovers in this game. They've played excellent defense, playing the passing lanes. You see them coming up with a steal, taking the ball down on the offensive end and coming up with a good basket, but that's what's going to happen. That's how they're number 2 in the nation behind the Bruins, shooting 8 for 8 here in the second half by getting good looks at the basket. But if you force turnovers, it's going to lead to easy opportunities like that.
8 of 8 in the second half for Louisville. UCLA, by the way, is 44-1 in its last 45 non-conference games here at Pauley Pavilion. The last non-conference loss at home was against Duke in 1992.
Well, there's still plenty of time left in this game. Let's see if the Bruins are able to change the tide. All they have to do is execute their offense. Don't get stagnant. Take good shots. Make good passes.
J.R. Henderson from Jelani McCoy. That's 12 for Henderson.
A little close quarters inside, but they were able to get a little bit better spacing, and a couple of touch passes leads to a basket.
Wheat takes the 3.
First miss of the second half by the Cardinals, but able to keep the ball alive. This is what we saw the Bruins doing the first half, out hustling the Cardinals to those balls.
Rogers guarded by O'Bannon. Now off to Kiser. Dantzler, the turnaround. Nope, doesn't take the shot. In the corner, that's Sims. Yes.
Nice ball movement. Get the ball down on the block. Make a diagonal pass. One more time to the corner. It leads to an open look.
Back quickly as O'Bannon. Dollar gets the board. Off to McCoy, and he lays it up and in.
Strong offensive rebound by the smallest player on the floor, Cameron Dollar, who's able to get an assist to go along with the offensive rebound.
Rogers can't hang on to it. Dollar saves it. Great hustle.
Good hustle. Need a basket off of this turnover.
Bruins trail by 10. Foul underneath.
Watch the Cardinals. They get the ball down on the block. Damian Dantzler makes a nice diagonal pass. One more skip to be able to get the ball over in the corner. And Alvin Sims comes up with a wide open shot because the Bruins defense wasn't able to make that extra shift.
Foul was on Kiser, his second to 16th foul. This is Bailey in traffic, and Bailey is fouled. Toby Bailey has been very quiet today.
He has been quiet, but when things aren't working well from the perimeter, you have to find ways to break the defense down, either by making passes, spreading the floor, or by creating off the dribble. Toby Bailey can do that very well.
Kiser quickly picks up his second. It's out of a minute. So that's 3 overall. 17 fouls, so the Bruins in the bonus.
Bailey's leading the Bruins in scoring, 16 points. He's averaging about 4.5 rebounds a game, but he's also averaging 4 turnovers a game. And against Washington State, to go along with 18 points, he had 12 turnovers in that game. Make any coach get gray hair.
11:50 left to play. Cardinals by 10 over the 15th ranked Bruins. Sims. It's it out to Rogers. There's Kiser. And now Wheat will reset the offense.
Plenty of time on the clock, down to 9 seconds.
Kiser. Another one.
Somehow, if I'm Jim Herrick, that's not how I want my rotation to operate on the weak side. Allow one of the best shooters on this team, Brian Kiser, to be able to spot up and knock down another three-point shot.
Third foul on DeJuan Wheat. Kiser came in averaging 7.2 a game. It takes a lot of his shots from beyond the three-point stripe. 10 of 11 from the floor. We said these two teams are 1 and 2 in the country. Field goal percentage.
Well, the Cardinals were just The first half, they shot the ball very, very well from the field, 64%. They were up to 70% at one point.
62-49 now. Bailey with the turnover. McCoy. O'Bannon, and he's fouled. Count it.
From a morale standpoint, that's a good play. The Bruins needed a basket going down 4 against 1. Get the ball inside. They're going to come up with a steal. Take a look at Toby Bailey coming right at you. He's going to make a bounce pass, get the ball out of his hands, force the defense to commit itself. And Charles O'Bannon inside, not only does he make the basket, but he gets the free throw to go along with it.
And that's 4 on Kiser, and Louisville needs his three-point shooting. Kiser with the rebound.
Well, we mentioned we didn't want this to get into a free throw shooting contest, as Bruins shoot 64% from the line as a team.
62-51. Wheat, this is a 2. O'Bannon with the rebound. Off quickly to Dollar. 2 on 2. Another turnover. Rogers.
Cameron Dollar's upset with himself. He did not see the defense getting back.
And that is 20 turnovers now.
Cardinals are showing an awful lot of patience, a lot more patience here in the second half than they did in the first.
Wheat will take his time. See the time left on the shot clock. Penetration, Smith with a follow.
Excellent dribble penetration to be able to break Cameron Dollar down by DeJuan Wheat. Get inside.
Zach Smith inside to Jelani McCoy. That's 4 for Jelani.
When you're down by 11 points, excuse me, Bill, you cannot afford to trade baskets with just under 10 minutes to go. The Bruins have to intensify and pick up their defense.
Sims guarded by Bailey. Off the pick by Smith. He takes it in. Henderson with the rebound. Off quickly to Bailey. The slam uncontested.
That's the kind of effort the Bruins need. They need to get this crowd on their feet and get them behind them.
20-second timeout called by the Louisville Cardinals. Tomorrow it's more college basketball on CBS, beginning with a Big Ten matchup between number 16 Michigan and number 22 Iowa. Then there's regional coverage with Virginia against number 14 UConn or number 3 Kansas against Nebraska. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern. That's tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Well, Toby Bailey, Jim Herrick said, is a no-nonsense kind of player. He comes to work. He's very, very serious. He's also serious in the classroom. And here you see him making a very serious play and getting out in traffic and getting the Bruins a basket. And what he's done is he's put the momentum back in the hands of the Bruins, but they need more defensive efforts like that. Come up with some steals and some tip-aways and go down and convert.
That's 6 points for Toby Bailey, and he comes in as the Bruins' leading scorer. He heads out J.R. Henderson with 16.2 a game. This is Rogers. Taken by O'Bannon, and that is not the kind of shot that Denny Crum wants.
No, he wants to keep some momentum and look to get the ball.
Oh, a great move. Henderson is fouled by Bozak Smith, and that's 4 on Smith.
This is just a terrific tape by J.R. Henderson off the dribble. Going to his left. A good, strong move to go inside, and he's not going in to lay it up. He's going in trying to make a statement. We have some momentum, guys, and we have an awful lot left with over 9 minutes in this game. We have to get back in the game.
So that's 4 on Kiser and now 4 on Bozak Smith. 13 points now for J.R. Henderson. 64% free throw shooter.
Last 9 games, he started to pick up his field goal percentage, about 63% from the field, getting good looks at the basket, just like the one he attempted.
Gets them both. 64-55.
You just saw Chris Johnson there, the sophomore, unable to get in the game.
Backcourt.
forcing another turnover. The Bruins are starting to play with a little bit more energy.
So 64-57 with 8:48 left in the game. Derek, on paper, this is really not a close ball game.
No, not at all. I mean, both teams are shooting red hot from the field. We have a problem with the clock, I believe. Got 9:09 showing here, 8:48 up there.
Here's a look at the time remaining. Was we mentioned the 4 starters missing from Louisville.
Would you announce that that one is not cooperating correctly? The official score is that one over there, right?
The official score clock's going to be over our right shoulder, which we can't see. So going to take a look at some final and some games taking place right now.
Mississippi over Alabama, 70-63. Now there's the other clock. It has 9:09 on it. So after all of that, McMahon will inbounds the ball. Cameron Dollar will bring it up.
This is why Jim Herrick wants Cameron Dollar on the floor. He has a relaxed or a calming effect for the Bruins. Helps to slow the tempo down a little bit. It's a very young team, as we talked about. Only one senior.
Sims with the steal. Great defense from Henderson.
Alvin Sims did a nice job of stealing this ball. Playing the passing lane, playing the weak side off the ball. He's able to tip the ball away from J.R. Henderson. And as he's going down, looking over his shoulder, all he has his eyes on is trying to dunk that ball in the rim. Gets it stripped out of his hands.
Dantzler gets it in to DeJuan Wheat. Wheat steps back, calls the play.
Bruins extending their defense at 2-3, trying to force the Cardinals to look outside. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Wheat taking his time. From way outside and nails it.
Is that confidence? This young man is playing with no fear.
That's 22 now for Wheat. And it's a 10-point margin.
Coming into this game, he was number 22 on the Cardinal all-time career scoring list with over 1,300 points. 15.5 career points a game.
Bailey tried to get it inside to Henderson, and the Bruins turn it over again. It's 22. Take a look at the three-point shooting. UCLA has only taken 2.
And the Bruins are a pretty good three-point shooting team themselves, shooting over 41% from behind the arc. But you have to look for the shot if you're going to expect to make any.
See Sims push off. They get Dantzler. That's his first. Damian Dantzler, 6'7" sophomore from Chicago.
What Denny Crum calls a late bloomer. He's just now starting to come on. He had his best game as a Cardinal against Morehead State, 12 points and 11 rebounds in that game, and he chose Louisville over Marquette and Xavier University out of Cincinnati.
Denny Crum has needed for Dantzler to really step up. One I started to make earlier was that if Denny Crum, with all the adversity that he's faced this year, can get this team into the NCAA tournament, would you say this is the best coaching job that he's done, even better maybe than the 2 national championships?
Well, national championship, that's pretty good, bro.
maybe a close second.
That's pretty good. A close second or a close third. You got a technical foul? On the Cardinal bench. This could be a huge momentum change.
The free throw is good by Henderson.
What this is going to do is not only do the Bruins get to shoot free throws, but they will maintain possession But to get back to your point, if the Cardinals are able to go to the NCAA tournament with the lineup that they have, I think it would be a tremendous job of coaching once again by Denny Crum. He's an excellent coach, an excellent recruiter, as we know, and he's been in this business a long, long time. 25th year on the sideline for the Cardinals.
Now Chris Johnson, best free throw shooter, though he's only at 67%, but he really likes the limelight. And that's now 14 points for Chris John. John Wooden likes the comeback. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station. 7:07 left to play. Louisville leads the 15th ranked UCLA Bruins 67-61. Let's take a look, Derek, at our game summary.
Well, we're playing almost two different halves, and it looks like two different teams have come out. The Cardinals have come out the second half and been on fire, 12 out of 18 from the field, but looking to shoot the ball from the outside. DeJuan Weed has been huge. 19 points, 8 assists, but 5 steals in this game. Charles O'Bannon has to get some help from his teammates. Tolly Balin and J.R. Henderson have to step up inside.
O'Bannon with 13 in the first half, only 4 here in the second. Chris Johnson, guarded by Rogers. He's Louisville's best defensive player, and it's stripped away. Dantzler comes up with it. Wheat will push it up the floor.
Alvin Sims tipped that ball away, but the aggressiveness of the Cardinals have forced some unforced errors on the Bruins.
It's 23 turnovers for UCLA.
Jim Herrick was right. You don't win games against good teams, and this is a very well-coached team, this Louisville Cardinals, even though they're without some of their better players.
Blocked. McCoy, 2-on-1. He's fouled. They won't get the shot. That ball is on Wheat, and that is now 4 on DeJuan Wheat.
Well, believe it or not, this is a good foul on DeJuan Wheat, but this is an excellent block by Jelani McCoy to get this ball out in front. And coming down on the fast break, he's going to try to make a pass, but didn't give it up quickly enough. Even though this is the 4th foul on DeJuan Wheat, it was a good foul because it did not allow the Bruins to be able to get an easy basket. They have to go to the line and earn it.
So Wheat with 4, Bozak Smith with 4, and Brian Kiser with 4.
Well, Denny doesn't have much on his bench to go to over there, does he? There's a few walk-ons.
Numbers for Jelani McCoy. Let's see the call. It's against Louisville. That's 2 on Dantzler. Walk-ons on the Louisville roster. And there you see, they get some minutes. B.J. Flynn, who we've already seen in this ball game.
And B.J. Flynn is going to get a lot of minutes. He's a very good player. He transferred from Duquesne University in the spring of '94, and he averaged 5.5 points over there. He's a very good basketball player, terrific outside shooter, about 40% behind the three-point arc.
That's 10 team fouls, so the Bruins in the double bonus. Bailey gets it up, but it doesn't fall. Bailey for 3. That's way short. Dantzler has it.
Not a good shot, and it wasn't the fact that he had a good look at the basket, but he didn't show patience. And that's what you get from sophomores and freshmen. They think they have something going and try to rush a shot.
Louisville by 4, under 6 minutes remaining. Wheat. 3.
Change directions once again. DeJuan Wheat says, thank you very much.
22 for Wheat. 70-63. Bailey.
Well, the Louisville Cardinals want to try to get some penetration, but they also want to be aware of the overplay by the Bruins. You see Tick Rogers on the elbow of the free throw line. He gives a little pump fake going to the corner. DeJuan Wheat cashes in.
So Louisville will get the ball. 70-63. The
Over 5 minutes to go in this game. The Bruins, if they're going to turn this around, they have to do it on the defensive end. They have to be more aggressive, get quickly to the ball, and come up with some steals and tip-aways.
Sims, Bozak Smith cutting to the basket.
I thought it was interference.
No goaltending call. The Dollars back quickly. Miss Johnson will take it. Tip in doesn't go by O'Bannon. Last touched by UCLA.
Take a look at the shot on the other end. This is good cutting without the ball by Bozak Smith, and he puts the ball up. And right there, that looks to me, take a look at another angle. You tell me, is this offensive interference? The ball seems to be going pretty much on its way down. It was blocked twice, but they did not call it.
70-63. 4:40 left to play. Second foul on Jelani McCoy. We're at Pauley Pavilion. Bill McAtee along with Derek Dickey and the 15th ranked Bruins in some trouble against the Louisville Cardinals. Denny Crum coming in here missing 4 starters, 4 walk-ons on his roster, and yet they are playing a tremendous game. Here's Sims. In traffic, he loses it. McCoy comes away with the ball.
The first half of this game, the UCLA Bruins dominated by being aggressive, out-rebounding the Cardinals 17-10, and also scoring in the paint. They did a good job, and they were up by 6 at the half, but the second half have come out flat, unable to get their momentum back.
Jump ball, and the possession arrow goes to Louisville. So now that's 24 turnovers as Dollar just mishandles the ball.
Well, we talked about Cameron Dollar having the problem with both baby fingers, so when he crosses over and changes direction, that could be a problem for him, maintaining his ability to keep that dribble going, and he lost the ball on that last possession.
And what has happened to Dollar is in the healing process, those little fingers have gotten re-injured. He slaps the ball away or he gets fouled.
And it will continue to happen. As long as he's playing during the season, it will continue to happen. So he plays with a pad and, slight taping on his fingers.
Wheat. Oh, he wanted that to go.
Tried to put a little body language on it, but he was able to get Dollar off his feet.
It's a second foul on Cameron Dollar. In unison, everybody on the Louisville bench rose up, hoping that would fall. There are the numbers for DeJuan Wheat. A great game, 22 points, 8 assists, and 5 steals.
He had his career high earlier this season, 36 points against University of Alabama Birmingham, and he was a 2-time USA Conference Player of the Week already this season.
23 points now for Wheat. The Bruins have not lost a non-conference game at home since 1992. Wow.
And of their last 45 games, as you mentioned, they've won 44 of those, with that being the only loss.
Henderson to Dollar. 3:40 with Raveling.
Another unforced error.
25 turnovers for UCLA, and they trail Louisville 71-63. UCLA unveiled their new Joe Bruin mascot before the start of today's game. And Derek, if Louisville goes on and wins this game, this may be a short career for Joe Bruin.
Make a debut and a retirement all in the same day, but he's come out with a new look and trying to inspire the team and inspire the crowd, but maybe he may have to put on some sneakers and get out there.
Well, that's not very inspiring. 25 turnovers to 15 for Louisville. The expression on Chris Johnson's face says it all. 71-63, but remember, Wheat, Kiser, and Smith all have 4 fouls for the Cardinals.
That's what could help the Bruins get back in this game. If they are able to force the action a little bit, not necessarily take the first shot, take the best shot, move the ball around and try to drive to the basket.
This is the guy they have to stop, DeJuan Wheat.
Need a blanket or a glove or somebody out here to smother him.
Taking a lot of time off the clock. There you see the shot clock under 5. Fadeaway jumper, front of the rim. Knocked away and possession retained by Louisville.
Hustle outright hustle. The Cardinals are out hustling the Bruins to the loose balls here in the second half. They seem to want it a little bit more. The first half, the Bruins were the ones setting the tone, but I think they got too lackadaisical as the half came to an end.
Well, they'll talk about it. 2:46 remaining. 71-63. Bill McAtee and Derek Dickey back at Pauley Pavilion where Louisville leads UCLA by 8. Here's a look at the timeout situation. Team fouls Louisville already with 13. But Derek, UCLA hasn't scored in the last 4 minutes.
Well, we talked in that first half about the aggressive defense of the Bruins, allowing their opponent only 40% from the field, but the Cardinals allow their opponents 41% from the field. So both teams 1 and 2 in the nation respectively in offense, but they're also very good defensive teams. But the Cardinals have seemed to turn up their intensity a little bit more the second half.
If you're just joining us, UCLA led at the half 39-33. They've been outscored here 38-24 in the second half.
Violation.
Just got off the 3.
Should have been a violation. They should have stopped play.
Bailey will shoot the 3. Inside. Henderson.
Here's that foul on.
Louisville doesn't have a foul to give. We mentioned this, by the way, at the start of the day. Louisville has never won at Pauley Pavilion.
That's this would be a major game for Denny Crum. Alvin Sims picks up his 3rd foul. On the season, 64%, 8 for 8 today. I'd say that is going to bring his average up a little bit.
17 points now for Henderson.
Denny Crum told me before the game how strong this Conference USA is in terms of the opponents in that conference. A red, white, and blue division. UAB, Southern Miss, Tulane, Florida, South Florida, Louisville, Memphis, UNC Charlotte, Cincinnati, Marquette, St. Louis, and DePaul. Very good teams in that conference.
Well, the Cardinals are 4-4 on the road this year. That includes a big Conference USA win at UAB 10 days ago. Kiser checks in for Bozak Smith. Kiser with 4 personals.
Denny Crum wants some more stability in there in terms of ball handling, and he also wants a good outside shooter who's also a good free throw shooter in Brian Kiser, 81% free throw shooter.
Kiser has 17 points. They break the press. Dantzler, now Wheat, he has to get it back in a hurry. He does. Great athletic play.
Excellent hustle by the Cardinals.
Rejected by O'Bannon.
But the Bruins are hustling. They seem to have the floor spread, making the Cardinals have to make very difficult passes. But still, the Cardinals have 15 seconds on the clock to try to get a look at a basket.
Under 2 minutes remaining. 71-65 Louisville.
Over the back.
They got Johnson.
They got Johnson.
That's 4 on Chris Johnson.
Denny Crum wants a timeout. Unable to get it.
Dantzler. Louisville takes a timeout to talk it over. 1:46 left to play. The Cardinals lead 71-65. We've got a good one in Westwood. Louisville leading the 15th ranked UCLA Bruins. 1:46 left to play. And let's take a look, Derek, at the standings in the white division of Conference USA.
Well, the Louisville Cardinals are in that division along with Memphis and UNC Charlotte, and their lone loss came to UNC Charlotte. And we'll take a look at the red division with Tulane, UAB, Southern Mississippi, and South Florida, not winning a game in the conference yet. But the lead team in the conference seems to be Cincinnati. They're 4-1. They lost a game on the road to UAB, but Marquette, St. Louis, and DePaul right behind.
You noticed only 3 teams in the white division. The University of Houston Cougars with a win over Memphis earlier this year. They will join the white division next year.
From a geography standpoint, man, that's a lot of travel, isn't it? Going north, the south, the east, the west.
There's Denny Crum. Things had gotten so bad that Denny almost laughed about it yesterday. He said, I'm missing 4 starters, and Bozak Smith, backup center, who's now starting for Samaki Walker, missed a practice with migraines. So he said, now I've lost my center with a migraine.
I think you might want to try to dress Scooter McCrae, one of the assistant coaches on the bench over there.
Oh, great out-of-bounds play. Rogers with the layup, and he has 10.
That, to me, is a sign of a good coaching staff, to be able to design a play that'll get you a basket after an out-of-bounds.
There's O'Bannon. Knocked away by Dantzler.
Good steal by the Bruins.
Dollar tried to make the quick pass. O'Bannon does come up with it, and up and in, it takes a timeout.
UCLA.
That's 19 points for Charles O'Bannon. But, Derek, let's take a look at Louisville's out-of-bounds play a moment ago.
Well, it has to be set up by selling this play. And by that, take a look underneath at number 5, Alvin Sims. He's going to just go straight baseline after giving a fake to the middle, coming up with an easy basket. I'm sorry, that's Tick Rogers who comes up with that easy basket on underneath.
Well, tomorrow it's more college basketball on CBS, beginning with a Big Ten matchup between number 16 Michigan and number 22 Iowa. Then there's regional coverage between Virginia against number 14 UConn or number 3 Kansas against Nebraska. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern. That's tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Well, we have 1:19 to go in this game, and Louisville's UCLA is down by 6 points, which basically is 2 possessions. I think if the Bruins are able to play good defense on this possession, come up with a stop, not allow the Cardinals, 1, to get a good look at the basket, and 2nd, be able to come up with the ball. They have to be able to stop them here, go down and score. They can get a shift of momentum and get right back in this game.
Certainly one of the stories of the game, the 25 turnovers by UCLA. The Cardinals have had great success taking advantage of other teams' mistakes. 24% of Louisville's points this year have come off of turnovers.
Well, every coach, when they look at a stat sheet, that's one of the areas that they're going to try to address. Back in John Wooden's day, they didn't necessarily have this stat, but points off of turnovers, which means you're going to try to force your opponent to give the ball to you, and you're going to go score in those chances.
I wonder what Coach Wooden is thinking right now.
Well, I'm sure he's not sweating over there because he's not on the sideline, but he looks like he's having a good time. You think he's rooting for Denny Crum, one of his former players, or is he rooting for the team he used to coach and play for?
Very difficult.
Very.
But I have a feeling that we can deduce who Coach Wooden is rooting for. Yes. Denny Crum played here in the late 50s for John Wooden. Kiser now will bring it in.
They don't need a foul, just good defense.
Sims keeps it. See who picked up the foul. That's 3 on Henderson now.
Fouls on J.R. Henderson, his 3rd personal, 6th foul.
Tonight on CBS, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by Walker, Texas Ranger. That's all tonight on CBS. 1:13 left to play. Louisville by 6. Turnover goes to the Bruins.
That's what the Bruins need. They need to use as little time as necessary off the clock and come up with a possession and go down and score.
Well, they talked it over for a moment and decide that indeed the Bruins will have the basketball.
Ed Hightower asked Denny Crum to sit down, coach. You already have 1 tee.
Oh, what a follow that was by Toby Bailey.
Simple reset. That's all they're doing. Toby was allowed to hang on the rim because there was a player underneath him. Take a look at this athletic effort. Toby Bailey's going to come in and put the missed shot back in, bringing the Bruins to within 4 points with just over a minute to go.
73-69. The Bruins will press. Kiser gets it into Rogers, and he's fouled. The 3rd on Baylor.
Well, the last possession down, the Bruins wanted to get the ball up on the glass. You're going to see a nice athletic move by Chris Johnson just to put the ball up on the board, but this is even a better move by Toby Bailey coming over the top to finish. Nice penetration, good dish. When you miss the shot, you have to follow it, especially this late in the game. Ed Hightower says, no problem there, hanging on the rim.
The Cardinals now in the 1-1. 10 points for Tick Rogers. Came in averaging 9.4 a game. He's a 67% free throw shooter.
He has really improved his free throw shooting over last year. As a sophomore, he shot 51%. Sophomore freshman, 51 and 52% from the field. Last year, 71, and he's down again this season.
And back comes Dollar.
Nice block by Bozak Smith.
Oh, Bannon. 52 seconds remaining. Louisville by 2.
2-point game.
The Cardinals want a timeout.
DeJuan Wheat gets fouled in traffic, and he's going to step to the line. He's a 68% free throw shooter.
That's on J.R. Henderson, his 4th. Look at Denny Crum. Brought some great teams in here to Pauley Pavilion and never won.
That amazes me. Absolutely amazes me. Denny has had some outstanding teams, unable to win coming back home here in Westwood.
This is the guy you want at the line. He has 23, make it 24.
Well, he steps to the line like he's been there before. If you're the Bruins, you got to be thinking about good shot, not a quick shot. Still 51 seconds to go in this game. It's a 2-possession game still if he makes this free throw.
That's 25 for Wheaton. Dollar is back quickly. Spin move inside the dish. And Johnson is fouled.
Cameron Dollar once again making it happen with his dribble penetration.
16 points for Chris Johnson, and that's the 3rd foul on Dantzler.
Jim Herrick has been looking for somebody to step up. Cameron Dollar brings the ball all the way down the court. With 4 fouls, DeJuan Wheat can do nothing to try to stop him. Get the ball inside and try to make something happen. Chris Johnson puts it off the glass, makes the basket, and goes to the line.
67% from the line. Made 4 or 5 today. It's a 1-point game with 45 seconds left. Wheat guarded by Dollar.
He's going to keep the ball.
Oh, stolen by O'Bannon. He's going to score uncontested.
And the Bruins have the lead.
76-75. 30 seconds remaining.
DeJuan Wheat got no support from his teammates as Denny Crum calls for a timeout.
Louisville takes a timeout.
Louisville's trying to get the ball in their front court. DeJuan Wheat gets trapped. He picks up his dribble right here, and he's trying to get the ball inside. This is an excellent anticipation of the ball by Charles O'Bannon. He's going to go down and be able to finish his play, but you have to be able to gamble. You want to look for the steal. Charles O'Bannon playing the passing lane, and when he gets out front, he knows how to get this crowd fired up.
Toby Bailey sliding over to complete the trap, and he never saw Charles O'Bannon.
You want players to make big plays. This is what Jim Herrick was talking about. I need somebody to make it happen. He's looking for Cameron Dollar to handle the ball and not turn it over, but he's looking for the leadership of Charles O'Bannon.
Charles O'Bannon with 23 points and 6 rebounds.
Want to try to overplay whenever you can, especially when it's late in the game, and come up with a steal. And the object of any steal, a turnover, we talked about this a few minutes ago, make that into points off a turnover. Ed O'Bannon has to continue to fire up his teammates and fire up this crowd.
And the genuine Chevrolet players of the game are Charles O'Bannon from UCLA and DeJuan Wheat from Louisville. And celebrating its 25th year of NCAA sponsorship, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need.
The Cardinals need to take the ball to the basket here. I'd say they put it on the floor, take it to the basket, and draw the defense and pitch it back out. Keep an eye on Brian Kiser.
Wheat.
Down to 10 seconds.
To Kiser. This is a three. He nails it.
That's what you want to have if you're Denny Crum. You draw it up. You have your best player, the man who's a player of the game, look to draw the defense, get a little bit of penetration, have your better free three-point shooter come around the screen.
20 points for Kiser.
DeJuan Wheat did an excellent job of trying to sell this play, making the Bruins think he was going to go one-on-one. Brian Kiser's going to come around the baseline side. We mentioned coming into this game, 38% from the three-point arc. He comes around, spots up, and no question about it, finds the bottom of the net. Take a look, coming around a baseline screen, being set on the bottom by Damian Dantzler. Wide open, clear look at the basket. Remember the NCAA tournament game last year against Missouri.
Kiser has played the last 10 minutes with 4 fouls. 20 points and 3 boards.
That's a terrific effort. Let's see if Cameron Dollar can do what Tyus Edney did last year. I talked with Tyus. I happened to work with him, talked with him the other day about what he thought about last year's team. He said the chemistry, the guys just kind of held themselves together. They had great senior leadership, and this year's team needs someone to step into that leadership role, be it Charles O'Bannon or be it Cameron Dollar.
The executive producer of CBS Sports is Rick Gentile. The coordinating producer for NCAA basketball on CBS is Bob Dekas. Today's game was produced by Roy Hamilton, directed by Joe Assetti. The coordinating producer of At the Half is Eric Mann, directed by Bob Matina. Our associate director is Susan Panish, and the executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. 4 seconds remaining. Louisville by 2, 78-76.
Is that 4 or 4/10? We're not getting a clear look at the clock because we mentioned a little while ago both clocks went out down at eye level, down on the floor level, but we're looking at the one up above. 4 seconds to go in this game.
Bailey. He takes it. That was a prayer. It doesn't go.
Denny Crum has pulled off a masterful job of coaching, missing 4 starters to come in the Pauley Pavilion and win his first game in 10 attempts.
This is a stunning upset. Louisville winning 78-76. All these years that Denny Crum has come to Westwood, he's never won. He comes with a team that shouldn't win and does.
This is just an outstanding effort. Great hustle. Finishing this playoff with a nice rotation and splash by Brian Kiser. Coming off the baseline screen. The biggest shot of the night. Finishing with 20 points. This is a nice effort. DeJuan Wheat was a decoy on this play. Trying to grind the shot clock down. Able to find his teammate to get some support he needed.
Our final score, Louisville 78, UCLA 76. And now let's send you back to New York at Pat O'Brien.
All right, Mac, thank you very much. A stunning upset at Pauley, 78-76. An exciting game. George Raveling with me now. And Denny Crum, do you think he'll celebrate tonight?
His first big win in Pauley Pavilion. How about that Brian Kiser? His career average was 5 points a game. Hit the biggest shot of his life.
Great game this afternoon on Super Saturday here on CBS. Join us tomorrow at noon on this afternoon. And let's go back out to Pauley Pavilion. We wondered if Denny Crum was going to be celebrating. Let's ask him. Bill McAdee is with him. Bill?
All right, Pat, thank you very much. Denny Crum joins us, and we were saying that over the years you brought in some great teams here. You've never been able to win. You bring a team in here that probably shouldn't win, and you do it. They played inspired basketball today.
Well, they've been playing that way. Without 3 or 4 starters, it's hard to win if you play your best and still not win. But the guys have been real focused. They've worked real hard in practice, and it's like anything else. I guess it's a lesson that it's hard for everyone to learn, and you have to reteach it over and over and over, that you get what you earn in this world. And I don't know, if you look at you're right, we shouldn't have won the game maybe, but the fact was our guys wanted it worse than they did. They were concentrating and did a great job. I mean, I can't fault anything we did. I probably screwed up more than anybody getting a tee, but it's my first one in 2 or 3 years, and I've just had a real problem with the officiating in this place. I mean, and I love this place, but I've always had a problem with it.
Coach, at the end of the game, you drew up a play. Was the play designed for DeJuan Weed, or was it designed to try to use him as a decoy to get the ball inside? Take a look at it.
Well, we had 2 options. We saw, well, you didn't see the first of it, but we set Brian up on the opposite side, and then when DeJuan comes off to that side, Brian was supposed to come across off the pick, and he just came around there wide open, and like he does so many times. I mean, there's days in practice where he'll go 14 or 15 in a row. He makes them all. He's a great shooter.
Denny Crum, congratulations. First win here at Poly Pavilion.
Been a long time coming.
Louisville 78-76, and now let's send you back to New York. Pat O'Brien. Pat?
I think Denny should have been a little happier there, don't you, George? Don't you think so, George? His first win at Poly?
Well, I think that Denny has a lot more problems behind the scenes that he's concerned about. He has a whole bunch of injuries. In fact, they parked their team bus now in the handicap spot. But really, the three-point shooting, I thought, was masterful for Louisville.
All right, Louisville with a big win over UCLA at Poly this afternoon. Let's pick up the...
Louisville up 8 with 1:20 to go, but here come the Bruins. Charles O'Bannon, the steal, and Stuffy at 23. UCLA up 1 with 35 ticks remaining. But Louisville calm and cool. Off the screen, Brian Kiser, the 3-ball game. Louisville comes back and wins it 78-76.